So class, today we will continue with chapter number 7 of Science 2, which is Introduction to Microbiology. We actually started it yesterday in the previous session, and we briefly looked at what microbiology is and what are we going to study in this chapter. Also, we started studying the chapter by looking at some of the products that are made using microbes. So a quick recap: microbiology is about biology of the small microorganisms. So when we say microbiology, two things must be considered. There are other things also, but two must be considered. One is the enzymes, right? The enzymes microorganisms produce. How we use those enzymes, that's one part. And second, how the microbes itself we use in our life to make our lives better. So these microbes and their enzymes, they are used in our daily life. They are also used at a very industrial, commercial scale, on a large scale. And this chapter is dedicated to two main things. One is how these microbes and enzymes are used for producing things that are useful for us. Various things. So production of various things. Second is how these microbes and their enzymes are used for garbage management and pollution control. So one aspect of microbiology that we are studying is production. Second aspect of microbiology that we are studying is about some processes, garbage management and control of the pollution. And when we are saying microbiology, for this chapter, we are focusing on microbes and the enzymes that they produce. So these are the things should be mentioned in your notes, so that when you go through the notes, when you go through the bullet points, you will be able to remember what you have studied in the chapter. So after this background of what microbiology is and what we are going to study, then we started the study by looking at some dairy products. Dairy means related to milk. And we realized that most of the dairy products, which are from milk, they are produced by bacteria that are present in the milk. And this bacteria is lactobacillus. The plural is lactobacilli. Singular is lactobacillus. Except for cheese, which is produced using something from fungi. And this is the vegetarian cheese. So whatever we do with the milk, it is first pasteurized. Pasteurization is the process in which we heat the milk to a very high temperature, and then we cool it rapidly. Don't worry, people will not ask you what is pasteurization. In the exam, no one will ask you, but we need to know. And we need to use this process. We should not be consuming raw milk. We should, if we are not getting pasteurized milk from the market, if we are getting raw milk from somewhere, then we should boil it, cool it, and then drink it. Because this process destroys the harmful, unwanted microbes in it. And then most of these dairy products are produced using a method which is called fermentation. This fermentation, in a very simple term, fermentation produces some substances like acids and carbon dioxide, which changes the constitution, which changes the milk, the nature of the milk. Remember, milk in nutrition context, milk is considered to be the complete food because it has enough carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamins, minerals, all that. Right? So in this fermentation, what happens is the lactobacillus, which is already there in the milk, it is encouraged to grow. So it feeds on the lactose sugar of the milk, and lactic acid is produced. This lactic acid coagulates. Remember this word. It coagulates. It separates the protein from the fat and other substances. It also produces other compounds which give the new product its texture, flavor, everything. So fermentation is the basic process which is brought about mainly by the bacteria which is present in the milk, and the name of the bacteria, general name of the bacteria is Lactobacillus, singular, Lactobacilli, plural. But before we do anything with the milk, we do pasteurize it. And what products are we talking about? We are talking about cheese, butter, cream, kefir, yogurt. Kefir, we will look at it once again. Yesterday, I remember I told you to find out what kefir means. So one of the most important dairy products is yogurt. Yesterday, I told you that in India, yogurt is known as curd. Just like that, we just use the word curd, and curd we make in our homes also. When we make curd, again, if you have seen, ask your mothers, ask your fathers how we make curd at home. If not buying, how do we make curd at home? And they will say, we will take some existing curd and we will add it to the milk, and we will let the milk stationary. After some time, it will turn into curd. So when we are adding curd to milk, what we are doing is we are taking the lactobacillus and we are adding it to the milk so that there is more lactobacillus, they grow and new curd is formed. Generally, we don't use lemon or vinegar to make curd. If we use lemon and vinegar, what we will end up with is what Khadija was mentioning yesterday, chena, paneer. Then the milk will curdle. We are not curdling the milk. We are making curd. That's a slightly different process. Now, in the industrial level, at the commercial level, we are adding lactobacillus. Also, we are adding milk powder, condensed milk powder. All of us have seen this: Amul spray, Cerelac. These are the condensed Anix spray. We use it to make tea and coffee also. If we don't have the milk, we use these powders. When we mix them in water, they are made from milk. When we mix them in water, new milk is produced. So fermentation is carried out. Again, before anything happens, it is boiled and cooled. In addition to the lactobacillus, normal lactobacillus, we also use Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus delbrueckii. सब नाम याद रखना. One of the important compounds that are formed is acetaldehyde, which gives the taste to the yogurt. Also, we use various other flavors, various other fruits to make the yogurt more interesting. Butter in Hindi is makhan. Now, butter, there are two main types of butter. One is, in English, it's called sweet cream, and the other one is cultured. Cultured butter is produced using microbes. It takes time to produce. Sweet cream, we just separate the cream from the milk. Finally, when we looked at cheese, we realized that initially cheese was produced using an enzyme, rennet, which was found in the alimentary canal, the digestive system of various cattle. But then this was not a vegetarian option. So instead of using rennet, human beings realized that we can use protease that can be derived from fungi. And this became vegetarian cheese. So nowadays, the cheese that we see mainly in the Indian market that uses protease from fungus, it's vegetarian cheese. Okay. Remember, there are various kinds of cheese, not generally used in India, but available in India also. What we commonly use at home is the cottage cheese, which is freshly produced. And it is soft. Some cheese are soft, some cheese are hard, some cheese are very hard. And it depends on how long we have kept it to mature. If it is fresh, it will be soft like cottage cheese, cream cheese, mozzarella. But if you are storing it for 3 to 12 months, yes, cheese is stored for 3 to 12 months. It is allowed to mature. Then it becomes semi-hard like cheddar. If we leave it for 12 to 18 months, then very hard cheese, which is Parmesan cheese. And this cheddar and Parmesan, those are the cheese that we grate. Kaste hain hum usko. That is so hard when we are using. Okay. So we looked at yogurt, butter, and cheese already yesterday. Just bringing you up to date. Today we will proceed and we will look at another dairy product which is called probiotics. Probiotics. Pro always means something useful, favorable, something that adds. Anti would mean something which works against. So probiotics, and we will study about the opposite word, which is called antibiotics today. Probiotics are some things that are useful for our biology. These are also produced from milk, but unlike curd, cheese, butter, which contain dead bacteria, these probiotics contain live bacteria. So when we consume probiotics, we are actually consuming active bacteria. And not all microorganisms are harmful for us. There are many organisms that are useful for us, whether we like it or not. Our body inside is full of such organisms. For example, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus tesei. तो यहाँ पे जो ये बेटा comma दिया है, the Lactobacillus, comma acidophilus, that comma should not have been there. It should have been Lactobacillus space acidophilus starting with a small a. This part. This is one. Lactobacillus casei, Bifidobacterium bifidum. These are some of the bacteria, some of the microbes which are useful for us, and we consume more of them if we want to in these products which are called probiotics. So how are they useful? They are good bacteria. They help maintain the balance of our body from inside. Also, they help in digestion. Sab likha yahan. They also kill the harmful microbes. And one of the very, very harmful microbes against which probiotics are very useful is Clostridium. Clostridium, we have come across this word, I remember mentioning this to you, I guess. This is another bacteria. And this we get if we are consuming meat which is not properly cooked. And this can be fatal. We may lose our lives because of Clostridium poisoning. And these probiotic products, so these products can also be yogurt, kefir, another interesting name, sauerkraut. So this is, I think this comes, this word is actually is of German origin. It just means pickle of cabbage. Cabbage means patta gobi. Uska pickle. Dark chocolate, miso soup, which is of Chinese and Southeast Asian origin, pickles, oils, corn syrup, all these things. We consume them. So what is this kefir? Kefir is another fermented product, which is, it takes some time, and it is also produced from milk, and it is fermented using some grains. And it is also found in the form of kefir grains. We can use them to produce kefir on a small scale at home also. Please read and figure out what these are. I've never had kefir. Now, these probiotics have become very useful because our lives in the modern days, we are not exercising enough, we are not eating enough, not eating enough, we are not eating healthy food. A lot of our food is so overcooked, it is full of oil. All that is not good for the good bacteria of our body. So we need to supplement them with probiotics. Right? Also, I told you we will come across antibiotics. When we fall sick, when we have a bacterial infection, we are asked to take antibiotics. Now, when we take the antibiotic medicine, along with the bad bacteria, they also kill the good bacteria. If the good bacteria are killed, then it will affect our digestion. Hota hai na? When we are sick, when we are taking antibiotics, then our digestion is also affected. Many times when we are taking antibiotics, we suffer from diarrhea also. So most times when doctors ask us to take antibiotics, they also ask us to take some antacids and digestive medicine. So with excessive use of antibiotics, जो हमारे the bad bacteria, they are becoming more and more resistant, and the good bacteria are dying. So to maintain the balance, we need probiotics. Till now, when we looked at various dairy products, so we looked at yogurt, butter, cheese, and probiotics, we have seen mainly the use of bacteria and use of two enzymes. One is rennet, which we can derive from the alimentary canal of cattle, and another enzyme, which is protease, which we can derive from another microorganism, fungi. Let us see how other microorganisms can be used to produce other things. So there, one of the very important product that we use in our daily life is bread. Bread is also produced using a microorganism. Yes, it uses atta, the flour of various cereals. Yes, that is fine. But when we use the atta flour, we can make roti chapati. Bread is different. Bread does not feel like roti chapati. It is so soft. It is full of so many holes, because that also is produced by fermentation. Fermentation produces carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide, when it goes, it is released. It leaves empty spaces in the flour. So we take the flour, we make the dough, and in the dough we add something which is called baker's yeast. So after bacteria and fungi, now we are seeing how yeast can be used. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is the yeast that we use, and because it is used for baking, it is called baker's yeast. Of course, we use water, salt, and other things. So this yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it will ferment the carbohydrate. So carbohydrate, which is made up of sugars, will be converted into carbon dioxide and ethanol. Ethanol is an alcohol, which we will study in last chapter of Science 1. And because of this release of carbon dioxide, which is gas, it tries to go out. When it is trying to go out, it makes the dough to rise. अगर हम भीड़ में जा रहे हैं तो हम धक्का मुक्का देते हुए आगे बढ़ते हैं ना. So that carbon dioxide is also doing the same thing. And in that process, the dough rises. Also, the bread becomes spongy. Carbon dioxide was part of the substance. It is going out. Jagah khali reh gaya. The holes that we see. Now, in an industrial scale, we will not use yeast powder. we will use compressed yeast. Compressed means compact. It is available in dry granular form or for domestic use. Yes, correct. वो डब्बे में आएगा domestic use में और powder रहेगा. And to make it even better, the yeast that is used in the bakery, the commercial use, it also is mixed with some carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins to make our food more nutritious. You know? It makes our bread more nutritious. Now, the next line in the paragraph is very important. It should have been written in separately that in addition to bread, this is not part of the paragraph. This should not have been written here. It's a separate sentence. What it is saying is similar fermentation process using the yeast is used to produce vinegar, soya sauce, monosodium glutamate, जिसको हम जानते हैं अजीनोमोटो के नाम से, and they are used in Chinese food, are produced by microbial fermentation. What do you call vinegar in at home? Do you call it sirka or something?
Yes, sirka.
Yes, vinegar is sirka. So in the common language that
Sir, sirka.
Yes, heard. So those things also are produced by fermentation by microorganisms. I'm sure you know what soya sauce is. It's very dark, pungent. Monosodium glutamate, Ajinomoto. I don't remember seeing Ajinomoto, but I know this name. It's very, whenever I hear this, I get excited. Sounds very interesting, Ajinomoto. Okay. So first, non-dairy product that we studied is bread. And production of the bread, we use yeast. That yeast helps in fermentation. Similar fermentation is used to produce other products, first of which we will study is vinegar, which you all just now confirmed is called sirka. Now, chemically speaking, vinegar is 4% acetic acid. We have come across this name so many times last year and this year also. It's an acid, but it's not a normal kind of acid. It is an organic acid. It is a carbon compound. There is no other element other than carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Formula is CH3COOH. Normally, when we come across acids, whether it is hydrochloric acid, which is HCl, nitric acid, HNO3, sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So there is some other nonmetal in addition to carbon and oxygen. But here, carbon, it has carbon and the anode. In normal acids, there is hydrogen and some other nonmetal, but here we have hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. There is no other nonmetal. All of us know how vinegar tastes. It is khatta, sour in taste, and it is mainly used for preservation. Achar mein use hota hai, pickles is achar, and other things. How is it produced? It is produced by fermenting fruit juices, maple syrup, sugar molasses, starch of the roots with the help of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Directly nahi. When we ferment these things with the yeast, the first product that is produced is ethanol. Ethanol is, again, when we study the last chapter of Science 1, where we will study about organic compounds, we will study about carbonic acids, we will study about carboxylic acids, we will also study about alcohols and all. Then we will study what ethanol is. But ethanol is an alcohol which is further transformed into acetic acid. Kaise? A mixture of bacterial strains. Now we are using bacteria. First we use the yeast, then we are using bacteria like Acetobacter and Glucanobacter is mixed with ethanol for microbial degradation. Means we are breaking down the ethanol using these bacteria, Acetobacter and Glucanobacter. When that happens, then acetic acid is produced. Very important part of the chapter. This production of vinegar or production of acetic acid is a two-step process. First, yeast is used to ferment fruit juices, maple syrup, sugar, molasses, starch, all these things, which produces ethanol. In the second step, bacteria are used to break down the ethanol and produce acetic acid. And when we say 4% acetic acid, we just mean it's a solution of acetic acid in water. Always we will have acid. We will never come across 100% acid. That will be very corrosive. So 4% acetic acid means CH3COOH in solution of water, in which if it is 1 liter, total volume is 1 liter. So 960 ml would be water and 440 ml will be our acetic acid. If we take 100 ml, then 96 ml will be acetic acid and 96 ml will be water and 4 ml will be acetic acid. That is vinegar. Now it is separated from the mixture and then it is bleached, साफ किया जाता है उसको with the help of potassium ferrocyanide. And before it is used, it is pasteurized. Then it is reacted, sulfur dioxide gas is passed through it to produce vinegar. Right? Mainly two steps, because we are using two types of microbes. We are using yeast to ferment the fruit juices, and then we are using the bacteria to degrade the ethanol. Then we are using other things to make it even better. And to make soya sauce, remember soya sauce is also made from using a similar fermentation process. The source material is mixture of flour of wheat or rice and soya bean. And now we are not using yeast or bacteria. We use Aspergillus oryzae, a fungus, to produce this soya sauce. So once again, just to revise, we are producing bread using fermentation with the process by the process of fermentation using yeast. Fermentation is also used for the production of vinegar. So vinegar is produced using by fermentation, but we use yeast and bacteria. Soy sauce is used to cause fermentation of the flour of wheat, rice, and soya bean, but we don't use bacteria, we don't use yeast, we use fungus, Aspergillus oryzae. So this combination कि क्या बनाने के लिए क्या use होता है, that is something we need to remember. In addition to the process of production of vinegar, उसको detail में दिया हुआ है. So break it down into points. So we looked at dairy products. We looked at including probiotics, which have live bacteria. And then we saw how yeast and fungus and bacteria can be used to cause fermentation for production of bread, vinegar, soya sauce. More things are produced using microorganisms. Production of beverages. Beverages means liquids, fluids that we consume. Coffee, chocolate, wine, cider, these are beverages. So if you were ever confused कि coffee कहाँ से आता है, tea कहाँ से आता है, both coffee and tea are plant products. Tea is grown in India also, in South India and Northeast India. Tea comes from the leaf part of a plant, but that doesn't use any microorganisms. Whereas production of coffee uses a microorganisms. And that microorganism is Lactobacillus brevis. Lactobacillus brevis. And the plant source is a plant which is called Caffeia arabica. This is the scientific name, Caffeia arabica. What we use as coffee is one part of the plant, very specific. It is not the root, stem, anything. It is the seeds of the plant. And we have studied in science too, reproduction is sexual reproduction in plants. Seeds are part of the fruit. So we have to get these seeds, which are in general, commonly, these are called coffee beans. These are the seeds of the fruits of Caffeia arabica. So to separate the seeds from the fruit, the microbe Lactobacillus brevis is used. These are coffee beans. Here. These are coffee seeds. Cocoa, which is used to make chocolate. We source it from a plant which is called Theobroma cacao. Theobroma cacao. The microbe that we use are Candida, Hansenula. H should have been small. No, they are separate, comma. Candida and Hansenula, Pichia and Saccharomyces, which is a yeast. Why do we use it? Again, to separate the seed from the fruit. And this is how the cocoa seed looks. Isse chocolate banta hai, different types of chocolates. We use a lot of sugar is added because these seeds, the cacao plant which produces cocoa is very bitter. We add a lot of sugar is added and then chocolate becomes sweet. Dark chocolate is bitter. Wine is a type of alcohol which is fruity, which is sweety. It is mainly produced from grapes, angur. Another yeast is used, which is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Why is it used to ferment the juice? And when similar fermentation is carried out not in grapes but in apple, using the same yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, another beverage is produced, which is called cider. Cider is also alcoholic. There is alcohol in wine, there is alcohol in cider, and none of you are still allowed to drink alcohol. Do your research, find out what is the legal age after which you can drink alcohol. Not now. It is not good anyway. Too much of anything is bad. So all these things, coffee, chocolate, wine, cider, they are derived from plants. Okay. So if you look at the diagrams, this is a diagram under the microscope of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is how the yeast looks. Then when you, the second set of diagram is how the coffee fruit looks and how coffee seed looks after it is processed. And the last one is cacao plant's fruit, in which it has seeds which we use to make cocoa, which is transformed into chocolates. Let us now look at how enzymes are used. Till now we have seen mainly how the organisms, microorganisms, the microbes are used. Now we will see how enzymes that are produced by some microorganisms are used for our life, to make our lives better. Understand, not understand. Remember, enzymes are a type of catalysts. Enzymes are biological, naturally occurring catalysts. Catalysts help in carrying out certain reactions, and they can they make reactions possible, and also they increase the speed of the reaction. So if you are trying to make something at a very large scale, And if there is a way to do it faster, we will like to do it. Jaldi ho jayega. That is why we use enzymes and catalysts. These enzymes are mainly active at low temperature, low pH, and low pressure. Generally, to carry out various reactions and various processes, a lot of energy is used. We have to heat, we have to apply a lot of pressure, and we have to add some acids and bases and all that. But enzymes can make things happen at low temperature, at low pH, and at low pressure also. Because of that, we are able to carry out the reactions with less consumption of energy, less wastage, less corrosion, less erosion. यहाँ पे erosion नहीं लिखना चाहिए था, यहाँ लिखना चाहिए था corrosion proof instruments. Also, because of use of these biological catalysts, harmful products are not formed, byproducts are not formed, है ना? तो purification का भी use necessity कम हो. Some examples of microbial enzymes, and remember, these are not specific names, these are general names. So these some general names are oxidoreductases, means just guess. You read this line in the context of chapter number 3, chemical reactions and equations. So the enzymes which are called oxidoreductases, they will help in oxidation and redox reactions. Transferases, they will help in transfer of molecules, parts of molecules. Hydrolases, breaking down or joining. Lyases, breaking. Isomerases, ligases. So they are named, again the names come from Latin origin, depending on what work they do. Some of it we understand, we have studied already, some of it we have not studied at all. We will study more about them if you take up science in college. They are named. These are classes of enzymes, these are not specific organisms. Be very careful. So one very simple example is to make our detergents, जिससे हम कपड़े धोते हैं, effective, ताकि ठंडे पानी में भी साफ हो जाए, we use enzymes. Another example, to get the glucose syrup and fructose syrup. Glucose and fructose are two simple sugars that are found in various cereals. यहाँ पे हम बात करें corn flour की. It can be done by using enzymes obtained from Lactobacilli and Streptomyces. Enzymes are also used in various industries like cheese, plant extracts, textile, leather, paper, सब कुछ. Just we need to appreciate that we do use these enzymes for production of things that we use. Also, these enzymes make our processes cleaner, more efficient, and cheaper. That's enzymes for you. So more substances are produced from microorganisms using the enzymes. More examples are, we produce organic acids which are used for various things. For example, we need L-glutamic acid for production of Ajinomoto, production of monosodium glutamate. So that is source, the L-glutamic acid. The main source is sugar and beet molasses. Molasses means उनको कसने के बाद, उनसे जूस निकालने के बाद जो बचा, that is molasses. If you know sugarcane juice, we press the sugar cane and get the juice out. So what is left? That is the sugarcane molasses. So that is the source of this L-glutamic acid. And how do we get it? We get it using Brevibacterium and Corynebacterium. What is it used for? Ajinomoto, making Ajinomotos. Similarly, Aspergillus niger is used on sugar, molasses, and salt to produce citric acid. Citric acid is used in various drinks, toffees, chocolate production. Citric acid is also present in lemon. Aspergillus niger, these are fungi, is used on glucose and corn steep liquor to produce gluconic acid, which is used to produce minerals as supplement for calcium and iron. जब हमको डॉक्टर बोलते हैं take this calcium, take the iron tablets, so they are also containing gluconic acid. Lactobacillus delbrueckii, another bacteria, is used on molasses of corn and other products to make lactic acid. And lactic acid is used to produce nitrogen and vitamins. Aspergillus itaconius is used to produce itaconic acid, which is used in paper, textile, plastic, and gum production. ये तो सबको मालूम है ना कि पेपर क्या है, टेक्सटाइल क्या है. टेक्सटाइल इज कपड़ा. And a very important thing, which is called xanthan gum. Xanthan gum. It is one of the gums. Xanthan gum. What is its purpose and why am I saying very important? Because there is a question, a web diagram related to this. It is used to impart thickness to ice cream, puddings, chocolates, milkshakes, chocolate drinks. It is obtained, ये जो गम है ना, कहाँ से मिलता है? It is obtained by fermentation of starch and molasses with the help of Xanthomonas. It is very useful because it is soluble in water, both hot and cold. क्या बनाते हैं इससे हम? Pigments, जैसे कि कलर दे सकें. We make fertilizer, weedicide. Weed मतलब जंगली पेड़ पौधे जो खेत में उगते हैं, to kill them. Weedicide. Textile pigments to color the clothes. Toothpaste. Also paper. Xanthan gum. Let us see where this question is in the exercise. ये देखो. Complete the following conceptual picture with respect to uses. So what are the uses of xanthan gum? Ice cream, milkshake, paper, textile, pigments, all those things will come here. So just to recap, before we go for a break, we understood what microbiology is. So it is about microbes and the enzymes that they produce. And applied microbiology is how we use them for our own needs. Industrial microbiology is how the same science and technology is used at a much larger commercial scale. And we are focusing on production of various things using microbes and enzymes, also garbage management and pollution. Till now, we are only looking at production of things. Now, in the production of things, we looked at dairy products. So we looked at yogurt, butter, cheese, which contain dead bacteria. And then we looked at probiotics, which contain live bacteria. Then we looked at bread, vinegar, soy sauce. Now, these are not about bacteria. These are about yeast and other bacteria, also fungus. We saw how coffee, chocolate, wine, and cider, they are also produced using fermentation. We saw how microbial enzymes can be useful for our industrial processes to make it cheaper, cleaner. And then we looked at organic acids that are produced from microbes, which are used to produce other things that we use. And we looked at this product, which is xanthan gum, which is produced from molasses by using Xanthomonas. We will break now. And after the break, we will proceed with the chapter where we will look at this table and understand what is happening. It is 8:33 now. Please rejoin by 8:55 so that we can start at 9 o'clock. At the end of page number 81, another table of information is given, which lists down some other substances obtained by microbial processing. Microbial processing means processing some processes which was carried out using microorganisms. So examples are citric acid, malic acid, and lactic acid, and these are used to give acidity to substances. They are acids, so yes, they give acidity. Glutamic acid, lysine, and tryptophan, which is used for binding of proteins. Binding means jodna. Niacin and natamycin, they are microbial restrictors. So if you have to stop something, the niacin and natamycin are used. Ascorbic acid, vitamin C, B12, B2. We have studied about vitamins in nutrition. So they are used as antioxidants to stop oxidation and vitamins. Beta carotene, lycopenes, xanthines, lutein, they are used to produce colors which are not harmful, they are edible. Polysaccharides and glycolipids. Polysaccharides are glucose, carbohydrates with multiple glucose molecules, and glycolipids are combination of glucose and fats, so carbohydrate and fats. And they are used for emulsifiers. This is a very interesting concept. When suppose we are making ice cream, so when we are making ice cream, there is milk and there are other substances also. And अगर हम उसको सिर्फ दूध पानी सबको एक साथ mix कर देंगे, keep it in the fridge, we will not get ice cream. The reason is the freezing point of water and the freezing point of milk, they are different. So one will freeze, another will not freeze. So when they freeze, after some time, they will be in two separate layers. But if we use emulsifiers, so emulsifiers help mix substances of different densities, and they help in combined freezing. So emulsifiers are used in paints, many other mixtures, and they are also used while making things like ice creams. Other substances, vanillin, ethyl butyrate, peppermint flavor, essences जो केक में हम डालते हैं flavor के लिए of various fruits and flowers. These are used to make essence. Essence means flavor, smell. Xylitol, aspartame, which are used for artificial sweetening instead of using sugar. They are used by people who are diabetic, people who have high blood pressure, problem with sugar processing. So those who have to cut down on sugar, but they still want to enjoy the sweet taste, these things are used. We will look at a couple of other things that are produced using microbes, and then we will move to the other part of the chapter, which is about pollution control and waste management. So the next thing that the textbook talks about is antibiotics. Antibiotics are opposite to probiotics. Probiotics are good for life. They are good for the microbes and good for us also. Antibiotics are bad. They are against. They are used to kill, not kill us. Antibiotics are used to kill the harmful bacteria and fungi in our body. And these are obtained by bacteria and fungi. They are obtained from bacteria and fungi. For example, penicillin, cephalosporin, monobactam, bacteriacin, erythromycin, gentamicin, neomycin, streptomycin, tetracycline, vancomycin. These antibiotics are derived from various bacteria and fungi. हम जब भी बीमार पड़ते हैं, जब भी हमको बुखार होता है, if it is a bacterial infection, then doctors ask us to take antibiotics. This is where they come from naturally. But then more and more we are moving towards that kind of science and technology where we are able to manufacture the molecule which is actually helping us kill the bacteria and virus, right, artificially. But generally, microorganisms are also used to produce antibiotics. Also, one of the very common disease, even in India, which is TB. It was very much in control before the lockdown, but after the lockdown, during the lockdown, a lot of people have got TB. And the antibiotic that is used to cure TB is rifamycin. Do you need to remember all these names? No. Just know that antibiotics are produced from bacteria and fungi. Not just antibiotics, even fuel is produced using microorganism. Fuel, yes, indhan, fuel that we need to produce energy. We studied last year that methane, biogas, is produced using microorganisms. Methanogenic bacteria, I remember it was mentioned in our textbook. So we take the waste products, we add some bacteria to it, which degrades the waste product and generates gases. One of the gases, methane, which is used as fuel. Not just that, even today we realized that ethanol, an alcohol, is produced when there is fermentation of molasses by yeast. Which yeast? Saccharomyces. Saccharomyces. So this ethanol can also be used as fuel. Nowadays, the petrol that we use in our cars, it is blended with ethanol. It's not pure petrol. So we can grow fuel. Also, a very, very, very clean fuel, we are still not able to use it properly, which is hydrogen. Because when we burn hydrogen, burning, oxidation, so hydrogen reacting with oxygen will form water vapor, H2O or water. So no pollution. This is a technology which is still being developed. It is not fully developed. Right? And this hydrogen gas is released during biophotolysis of water. So breaking down of water using microbes. Which microbes? Bacteria. So H2O, in which hydrogen is oxidized. So if we want hydrogen from water, we have to remove the oxygen. That will be a process of reduction, and that can be carried out using microbes, the bacteria, in the presence of light. This way, hydrogen gas can be produced. It is produced. But the technology to use the hydrogen gas is still not fully developed. Banega. Banega. And in addition to fuel, various other industrial chemicals are also produced using microbes. For example, alcohols, acetone, organic acid, fatty acid, polysaccharides, which are used in the chemical industry, plastic industry, and food products. Now, when we say fuel, one class of fuel is called biofuel. Biofuel is fuel which is derived from organisms, which is derived from plants and animals. Now, so technically speaking, coal, petroleum, that is also biofuel, which is because it is derived, if you remember, by compression of plants and animals which died millions and millions of years ago. Right? But they are not fossil fuel. They are not renewable. They are fossil fuel. Right? So biofuel is generally used for the term that is used to refer to the fuel that is produced in a green way. So ethanol is considered a biofuel because it can be grown. The crop can be grown, whether it is corn. Generally, it is the corn crop, which is then fermented using yeast to produce ethanol. This is called a biofuel. So be very careful about this paragraph in the textbook where it considers coal and gobar gas as coal and coal gas as biofuel. No, that's a very bad way to explain. We can consider ethanol as biofuel. We can consider methane, biogas and gobar gas, those things as biofuels, vegetable oils, alcohols as biofuels. But considering coal and coal gas will not be a good thing. Again, this diagram, I don't say this about many diagram or any diagram of in the textbook, but this is, again, be careful about this diagram, understand this properly. So what it says is solar energy is used, light is used by the plants to carry out photosynthesis. So crops grow, plants grow, not these trees. Actually, we are talking about corn plant. Then it is collected, usko process kiya jata hai, then we get the molasses, and the molasses are fermented, fermented, which produces fuel. And that fuel can be used in various vehicles and in various other ways. So be careful about this diagram, don't misunderstand. And when they burn, they produce carbon dioxide, which is again used by the plants to photosynthesize. So that is why this is called, this is also represented as a cycle. Okay? So understand the process, that the process is described here, ethanol, and we understand that it is, it can be fermented by yeast Saccharomyces to produce ethanol, which is used as fuel. This is where the first part of the chapter ends, where we discussed about different things that are produced from microbes and the enzymes that they produce. And these things, including medicines, plastic, fuel, food, colors, they are useful for our life. After studying about production of various things using microbes and their enzymes, let us understand how else these microbes and their enzymes are used. And we will focus on control of pollution and waste management, garbage management, kachra. In our cities, and fortunately or unfortunately, we live in one of the biggest cities in our country, and we see, at least some of us would have seen, how our garbage is collected. No? There are some vehicles that come every morning, they collect the garbage that we have put at one place, and they take it somewhere. And some of you would have seen that somewhere, most of the time, is just a place somewhere outside the city, and there is a huge mountain of garbage there. Have you seen that's this kind of garbage mountain in Mumbai? I think I have seen one in Govandi area. So they just take the garbage from one place and keep it at another place. And as population increases, as the city grows, so jo jagah, the place where we dump the garbage, which was initially outside the city, suddenly, or not suddenly, gradually it becomes part of the city, and people start living around it. Not just living around it, people live on it. They earn money by picking up things from there and selling it again, recycling. So garbage control, garbage management is a problem in the cities, and cities, places which are highly densely populated. So kya karna chahiye? Another thing that most of our cities do, which is again wrong, either they do it or it happens, that we burn the garbage. Remember, the garbage is consisting of many things. It has biodegradable substances. It also has plastics and other substances. So when we burn them, it produces a lot of smoke. When we burn them, it also produces a lot of harmful chemicals, causes pollution. So garbage is also related to pollution. Not just that, if we dump the garbage at some place on the ground is not sealed. Ground is porous. So the chemicals, they leach into the ground, they percolate down. That causes the soil pollution. When it rains, the water takes that harmful chemicals further down. It mixes with the groundwater. It flows into our rivers. So it causes water pollution. Finally, whether we like it or not, the same garbage in some shape or form comes back to us. We breathe it, we eat it, we drink it. Not good. So what should we do? How should we manage the waste, and what should we do to control the pollution? That is the next part of the chapter. So one way to manage the waste is, instead of collecting them in a pile, in a mountain of garbage, let's collect them under the ground, which are called landfilling sites. And this is not any garbage. This is biodegradable garbage. The similar garbage that is used in the biogas plant. Yes, it is. It is the biogas plant. We can consider this as biogas plant. So we dig in the ground and we put a layer of plastic or something so that the harmful chemicals don't percolate. They don't pollute the land. They don't pollute the soil and water. See, the plastic sheets. And then we fill the dugout portion with our biodegradable waste. कुछ नहीं करना है, बस fill कर दो. And because these are biodegradable places, in some time they will अपने आप break down and they will become manure, which we can use. But if we use something else along with the garbage, for example, if we use microbes, generally they are now called as bioreactors. If we add them to the garbage, then the biodegradation process is faster. And at the end of the biodegradation, what we get is, generally it is called compost, which can also be used as a manure. So we are taking the waste and we are making use of it. We can produce the gas. We can use the manure. We have studied this in class 9 also. So there is a diagram also, picture of modern landfill site. We should use more and more such sites in our cities, but unfortunately, that is not happening at a large scale. Remember though, for this to work properly, we have to segregate our garbage. We cannot be mixing biodegradable waste with non-biodegradable waste. When we are collecting garbage in our homes, in our houses, if we are mixing everything, if we are mixing metal with glass, with plastic and all the vegetable waste, then that cannot be used in the landfill site. So for the landfill site to work properly, we need to also have something called as garbage segregation, which our country, our city is far, far, far behind. Few years ago, when across the city, dustbins were set up, garbage bins were set up, you would have seen one was blue in color, one was green in color. So the green color dustbin was supposed to collect biodegradable waste. Okay. So landfilling sites can be used to produce gas, methane, biogas, and they can also be used to produce compost, manure. Another thing that all of us produce from all of our houses, forget about factories and industries, is the sewage. Sewage is the waste produced in our homes. And this is usually the wet waste, mainly coming out of our toilets and kitchen also. Now, if it is a small place that we are living, not small place in the sense, if it is a village kind of place, or we are living in a farm, there is enough space to dispose of these waste. But once again, if you are living in an urban area, very densely populated area, then this waste also needs to be collected and it has to be treated. It can also be used to produce biogas. If you don't do that, then these wastes can have these microbes which may cause cholera, typhoid. So we treat this sewage using microbes. So they kill the harmful bacteria, viruses that are there before they are released. Some of the bacteria that are used are the names we need to remember: phenol oxidizing bacteria that decompose the xenobiotic chemicals present in sewage. Remember this name because I remember there is a direct question in the exercise which asks about this. Phenol oxidizing bacteria decompose the xenobiotic chemicals present in sewage. और उसके ट्रीटमेंट में जो स्लज, जो स्लरी, जो बीच पीछे बच जाता है, again that can be used as fertilizer, compost. So whether it is liquid waste or solid waste, they need to be handled carefully, treated before being disposed, and we should try that they can be recycled. Okay. So garbage management, waste management, and pollution. That was the next part of the chapter. Next part of the chapter is very important, not just as individuals, but for us as a species, human beings. Clean technology. So does it mean that there is a technology which is dirty technology? Yes. Technology uses energy. Energy, even today, is mainly produced using fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, we have to burn the fossil fuel. That causes pollution. And not just production of energy. If we are producing clothes, textile, if we are producing leather products, even when we are producing electronic equipments, there is a lot of waste that we produce which are harmful for the environment, which are harmful for. So we also use the microorganisms to control the pollution of air, soil, water that happens because of the way we use technology. For example, there are microbes that remove sulfur from fuels. Sulfur, when we burn the fuel, so carbon will turn into carbon dioxide, sulfur will turn into sulfur dioxide, and that sulfur dioxide, when it mixes with water vapor, will form sulfuric acid. That will cause a special type of rain, which is not good for us. What is the name of that rain? Similarly, if there is nitrogen in the fuel, we burn it, so it will produce various oxides of the nitrogen, and those oxides of nitrogen will combine with the water in the air to form nitric acid. Acid rain, correct. So there are microbes which feed on sulfur, वो sulfur खाते हैं. So if we treat the waste product with these microbes before we release them, then the pollutants are less. Also, there are some metals like copper, iron, uranium, zinc. We studied them in the last chapter in science. They are also produced as a byproduct using in various processes, technologies. And they cause pollution of the soil, of the water. So they can also be absorbed by various bacteria and other organisms. For example, thiobacilli and sulfobacilli, they absorb the metals and help us prevent the pollution. वो जाता नहीं है जमीन पे, फिर पानी में नहीं जाएगा वापस. You would have seen in the news that we transfer oil from one place to another, from one country to another. Yes, there are pipelines under the sea, over the ground, but also a lot of oil is transferred on ship, huge tankers, oil tankers. And more often, not very, very often, but many times there are accidents of these tankers. When that happens, this oil that they are carrying, it spills onto the ocean. Oil is not good for the aquatic organisms because the oil is lighter than water. It will float on the water. When it floats on the water, it will stop oxygen from dissolving in the water and the organisms will die. And it is very difficult to clean this oil which is spilled on ocean. Kitni badi jagah hai? How will we clean them? So in addition to various mechanical method, which is very inefficient, we can use certain bacteria which they feed on this oil. Pseudomonas, Alcanoborax. They feed on this oil. They break down the pyridines of this petroleum products and they make it less harmful. So the general name for these bacteria are hydrocarbonoclastic bacteria. The fuel is consisting of various hydrocarbons, compounds of hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbonoclastic means breaking down, eating hydrocarbons, bacteria, HCB. Similarly, there is a problem with plastic. We have studied elsewhere that plastic has been found even in the bodies of fishes. We throw a lot of garbage here and there. Even if we don't throw individually, the garbage somehow reaches the oceans. It may break down, but plastics are not biodegradable. They will be there for millions and millions and millions of years. And they reach going through the food chain. They go into the fishes and we eat the fishes. So they also come back to us. How do we dispose of the plastics? So there has been there are some bacteria like Vibrio, Ideonella. They can degrade the plastic also. Also some fungi like Actinomycetes, Streptomyces, Nocardia, Actinoplanes. They can decompose rubber. So plastic and rubber, we can decompose using microbes. Very useful. These things are making our technology cleaner, making human life cleaner, more healthier, making the world, earth cleaner and healthier. Just now we talked about sulfuric acid in acid rain. But this sulfuric acid also can be removed by using bacteria like Acidophilium and Acidobacillus. Just the name tells us that they like acids. Acidophilium, philic means liking. Also, there is a bacteria which is called Geobacter, and the picture of that is given. This is not visible to naked eye. None of the bacteria is visible to naked eye. We have to look under very strong microscopes. Now, they are used to convert uranium, a radioactive substance. They feed on uranium and they convert them into insoluble salts, and they can be then filtered out from the groundwater. How useful the microorganisms are. I think before this, we only studied microorganisms as something that are dangerous to us. They cause diseases. This year in this chapter, we are studying how the microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, yeast, they are so useful for us. Let us remind ourselves that even if we don't produce, we don't use microorganisms for any of this science and technology, all our bodies, and not just our bodies, all the bodies of all the animals, there are microorganisms, there are bacteria, fungi that grow in our body naturally, and they help us live our life. They help us in digestion. They help us kill the bad organisms. Finally, microorganisms in case of farming. We have already studied nitrogen cycle last year in Science 2. There you would have studied about rhizobacterium that are present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Leguminous plants, mainly mungfali and those kind of plants. So they help the plant absorb nitrogen compounds from the air and convert them. Nitrogen from the air and convert them into nitrogen compounds so that it can be used by the plant. Nitrogen fixation. पढ़ा है हमने? Microbes are also used as inoculants. Inoculant is like injecting something to make something safe, better. So these chemicals are, which are nothing but microorganisms, they are sprayed on seeds. Kyun? So that, remember, again, in sexual reproduction of plants, we understood that the endosperm, which is there in the seed, it gives the food for the new plant to grow. Sometimes that food is not enough. Sometimes the food that is available in the soil is not enough. So these bacteria, these microbes that are sprayed onto the seeds, they help in the growth of the plant by producing them nutrients. Okay. So examples are Azotobacter and artificial nitrogenase. This is an enzyme. They are used for organic farming without using any chemicals for farming. So we use fertilizers and manures. Remember the basic difference between fertilizer and manure. Fertilizers are artificial compounds, chemical compound. Manure is natural. Excessive use of fertilizer is also not good because it will cause pollution. The excess fertilizer will flow into the water. Water will get into our bodies. Okay. For example, the chemical fluoroacetamide. This is one of the problems. And pesticides and weedicides and germicides that we use in agriculture, excess of all these chemicals are not good for our life. So they can also be destroyed with the help of microbes. Not just destroying the harmful chemicals, we can actually use the microbes as bioinsecticides. Some substances that are produced by the bacteria and fungus, which are toxins, zahar hai. We don't use it to kill ourselves. We can use to kill the bad bacteria, pests, pathogens. They only kill the organisms that we want to kill. They are toxic to insects. They don't get absorbed in the plant. So when we eat the plants, we don't get those toxins. Another very important term, name, spinosad. Spinosad is an example of biopesticide. I remember that there is a question related to this also in the exercise. Spinosad. Example of biopesticide. Let us look at the questions in the exercise. So first question is a fill in the blanks. There are 4 parts. Process of dash of milk proteins occur due to lactic acid. when possible words are given. If such questions come in if fill in the blanks come in the exam, then not necessarily that it is not necessary that the words will be given. We may have to write them from our memory. Anyone remembers? I think the answer here is coagulation. I told you, important word. Harmful bacteria like dash in the intestine are destroyed due to probiotics. This also I remember telling you, important word, Clostridium. Chemically, vinegar is 4% acetic acid. And supplement, salts which can be used as supplement of calcium and iron are obtained from what acid? Okay, let us see. देखो कैसे कैसे question बने हैं. It was there in a table. Calcium and iron. See, production of minerals. Which acid? Gluconic acid. Okay. So please understand, just because something is given as a table in the chapter, don't think that it will be asked as a table in the question. Information is presented in many ways, in suitable ways. We need to read, understand. When we read and understand, we will remember automatically. And the question can be asked in some other way. Beware. Number 2, matching. Let me remind you, we will not match these columns by drawing lines between the 2 columns. We will make a table in which the matchings will be correct. Look, xylitol, citric acid, lycopene, niacin. Kahan tha ye? They were in one table, I guess, if not 2 tables. Is it here? Xylitol? No. Niacin we have. Oh yes, xylitol is it. What else is there? Citric acid. Oh yes, citric acid is also here. Lycopene. Do we have lycopene here? Yes. Oh, everything from one table only. So the information that is given in the tables here, they are also checked in the exercise questions. So you know how to complete these questions, question number 1 and 2. Then easy questions, which are, there is nothing for me to explain, is question number 6. So it says complete the following conceptual picture with respect to uses. So we have to write 6 different uses of xanthan gum. Why 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now such type of answer, if you want to write in points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 uses of xanthan gum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that answer is perfectly fine. Not necessary to make this diagram, because this does not show us any flow. It is just giving us different information. You can write just in bullet points, perfectly fine. Number 7, complete the following conceptual picture related to environmental management. So how microbes are used to manage the environment, to keep the environment clean, to manage the waste, to control the pollution. Here also, because there is no flow, there is no this comes first, then something else comes, there are no steps here. So here also, if you are not comfortable drawing the diagram, you can write it in points. So 1 is already given, you will write that, and then you will add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more points. 6 and 7, very easy. It's clear what needs to be done. Number 8, I think, is the most interesting question of the chapter. So it asks, what is the role of microbes in compost production? They degrade the bigger molecules into smaller molecules. What are the benefits of mixing ethanol with petrol and diesel? We use less fossil fuel. The cost of fuel decreases. The pollution also decreases. Which plants are cultivated to obtain fuel? Corn plant mainly. Which fuels are obtained from biomass? Methane, gobar gas, those things. And how does the bread become spongy? Fermentation, yeast, Saccharomyces. So it produces carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is released. It makes the bread spongy. Extremely easy. Question number 4 also is similar. There is a concept diagram. So complete the following conceptual picture. So what is the picture about? The topic of the picture is at the center, sewage after processing. तो क्या क्या करना है हमको सीवेज के साथ? That we have to write. Here also, because there is no particular flow that we are talking about. If you don't want to draw the diagram, that's okay. But you write 4 points, including cleaning. That is question number 4. Another very interesting question is question number 5, because it talks about scientific reasons. I hope you are using your textbooks. Number C, 5C, microbial enzymes are used instead of chemical catalysts in chemical industry. We discussed this. Catalysts need high temperature, pressure, and pH, whereas enzymes can work at low temperature, pressure, and pH. So it uses less energy. Also, it produces less byproducts. But wastage nahi hota. 5B, enzymes obtained by microbial processes are mixed with detergents because they make cleaning, removal of dirt in cold water easier. 5A, it is there in the textbook. I did not mention it while we were discussing, is when we are using these bacteria, there are viruses that eat the bacteria. They are called bacteriophage. They eat the bacteria, and they can be harmful to the bacteria. So if we want to use use bacteria that are good for us in a good way, that we don't want them to be damaged, then we change things in them, or some changes have happened in them automatically using mutation, which are resistant to viruses, which are resistant to other things, and only useful to us. So we use mutant strains. That's given in the textbook. Don't worry. You read, you will find. Where is it given? Where is it given? Tell me. Try to find out. It's definitely here. Yeah. If you are able to find out, good. If you are not able to find out, I'll tell you later. Is there? Finally, question number 3. This is a collection of some very disconnected questions. Which fuels can be obtained by microbial processes? Why is it necessary to increase the use of such fuels? Clean, green, names of the fuels you have to write. How can the oil spills of rivers and oceans be cleaned? We talked about this bacteria which using hydrocarbonoplastic bacteria. How can the soil polluted by acid rain be made fertile again? H2SO4 की बात हुई थी. So using these bacteria like Acidophyllum and Acidobacillus. Page number 85, top of the page. Importance of biopesticides in organic farming. We know this already. Probiotics, why they are popular, to maintain the balance in our body, to kill the harmful bacteria. Bread and other products produced using yeast, baker's yeast, are nutritious. We said, the commercially available yeast also contains carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals to make the bread more nutritious. What should we do before we decompose the domestic waste? Segregation. Why is it necessary to ban the use of plastic bags? Because plastic bags are not biodegradable. They cause pollution and they find their way back into our body, not back into our body. They come to our bodies through various food chains. So very simple 8 questions. All answers are there in the textbook, in the chapter, and we have discussed, which you will try to complete today.